5 habits that make you mentally weak. A human-like, emotionally resonant exploration of the subtle habits that chip away at your strength and how to reclaim your power, one thought at a time. Introduction. Why mental strength isn't what you think. We usually picture mental strength as something loud, the powerful speech, the fearless leap, the calm stare in the face of chaos. But honestly, that's not it. Not most of the time. Mental strength is quieter. It's not about being fearless. It's about doing the thing anyway. It's not about having it all together. It's about not crumbling when you don't. And it's definitely not about pretending you're okay when you're actually running on fumes inside. But here's what nobody really says out loud. Mental weakness isn't always obvious, either. It's not always about the person who breaks down or gives up. Sometimes it's the person who keeps saying yes while slowly resenting everything, or the one who overthinks every decision until the moment has passed, or the one who needs everyone's approval like oxygen. That's the kind of weakness we're talking about here, the kind that creeps in without making a sound, that quietly drains your confidence, resilience, and peace, while you're still checking your emails and folding laundry. So if you've ever felt tired for no reason, stuck in a loop of your own thoughts, or like your nice nature is slowly swallowing your spine, this is for you. These 5 habits, they don't scream weakness, but they whisper it every single day. Let's start with the loudest whisper of all. Habit 1. Overthinking everything until it paralyzes you. You ever lay in bed and mentally replay a conversation you had 3 days ago? Maybe you said something awkward. Maybe you didn't say anything at all. Maybe it was just a normal chat, but your brain's dissecting it like it's a crime scene. Welcome to overthinking. It's exhausting. And if we're being honest, it's a habit that slowly eats away at your mental strength. Because while you're spinning in circles in your head, life is quietly passing by. The illusion of control. Here's the tricky part. Overthinking can feel productive, like you're being careful, smart, analytical. But what's really happening? You're mistaking rumination for reflection. You're looping, not learning. It's like revving your engine in neutral. You make a lot of noise but go absolutely nowhere. You mentally rehearse all the worst-case scenarios. You try to prepare for every possible outcome. But preparation isn't the same as action. And mental strength, in the end, is about action. Real life, wasted in hypotheticals. Let's say your boss gives you feedback that caught you off guard. Instead of just hearing it, processing it, and moving forward, you spend the next 3 days imagining what they really meant. You craft fake comebacks. You overanalyze your tone. You read body language that wasn't even there. Meanwhile, you're emotionally drained. You've done nothing with the feedback, and your confidence has quietly eroded. Overthinking creates a false sense of security while robbing you of real power. The mind, like a monkey on caffeine. Buddhist teachings describe the human mind as a monkey mind, agitated, restless, never still. And overthinking is that monkey with a double shot of espresso. The antidote? Not more thinking, but presence. Let me explain. Next time you're overthinking something, pause, take a breath. Literally say out loud, thinking. Name it. Don't judge it, just name it. Then ask, is this helping me act or just helping me worry better? That one question. It's a mental pry bar. It opens up space between thought and reaction. The strength of letting go. Mental strength isn't about getting it all right. It's about knowing when to let go. You don't need to think everything through 10 times. You don't need to know exactly how things will go. What you need is the courage to make a decision and the resilience to handle whatever comes next. That's strength. All right, ready for the next one? Let's talk about your comfort zone, or rather, your addiction to it. Habit 2, avoiding discomfort at all costs. You know that weird relief you feel when someone cancels plans and now you don't have to show up? Or that quiet voice that whispers, maybe tomorrow when it's time to speak up, start something, or change direction? That's avoidance. And while it feels good in the moment, it slowly guts your grit. Comfort feels good until it doesn't. We've been sold this lie that ease equals happiness, that if we can just stay warm, safe, and unbothered, we'll be okay. But the truth? Comfort is a great place to rest, but a terrible place to live. Avoiding discomfort makes your world smaller. Over time, you say no to new challenges, hard conversations, or personal growth, not because you can't handle them, but because you've trained yourself to flinch. Let's get practical. You hate your job, but job hunting is uncomfortable. Interviews are stressful, so you stay. You've grown distant from someone you care about, but that first honest conversation feels awkward, so you don't have it. You want to get healthier, but the first week at the gym is humiliating, so you say you'll start next month, and the cost, not just lost progress, but lost trust in yourself. Because every time you avoid something hard, your brain learns, I can't handle this, and that belief, it sinks deep. Voluntary discomfort builds real strength. Here's the kicker. Discomfort isn't just unavoidable, it's necessary. People who are mentally strong, they don't like discomfort, but they respect it. They know every good thing, confidence, purpose, deep connection, comes with a side of awkward, scary, or inconvenient. So they lean in. They choose discomfort on purpose sometimes, running when it's cold, saying I disagree in a meeting, telling someone they crossed a line, because every time you choose discomfort consciously, you build evidence. I can do hard things. That's strength. Ready for the next quiet weakness? This one hits a little close to home for most of us. Habit 3, constantly needing validation from others. Let's not lie. Praise feels great. When someone tells you they're proud of you, or hits like on your post, or says you're amazing in front of others, it lights you up. And there's nothing wrong with that. The danger comes when you need it. When your self-worth starts depending on whether or not people clap. The dopamine trap social media is a perfect metaphor for this habit. You share something you're proud of, a photo, a thought, a win. Then you wait, refresh, wait, check again. Wonder if it was good enough. You used to be excited about it. Now you're just anxious. That's the shift. From joy to approval chasing. When your self-worth is tied to feedback, you live in a constant loop of performance and fear. You're only as good as your last review, your last compliment, your last applause. That's not strength, that's bondage, the external locus problem. Psychologists call this an external locus of control. It means you look outside yourself to feel okay. Strong people flip that. They develop an internal compass. They do the right thing even when no one's clapping. They follow their values even when it's unpopular. They let go of the need to be liked all the time because they like themselves. That's not arrogance, that's groundedness, and it's rare. But don't we all need a little encouragement? Of course, we're wired for connection. Validation feels good because we're social creatures. But there's a difference between receiving validation and needing it to function. Ask yourself this. Would I still do this if no one noticed? Would I still be proud of this if no one praised me? If the answer is yes, there's your strength. All right, this next one, it might sting a little, especially if you're the nice one. Habit 4, never saying no, even when everything in you screams to. Let's talk about that familiar tension in your chest, the one that shows up right after you agree to something you didn't actually want to do. Your face smiles. Your voice says, "Sure, I'd be happy to," but inside, you're screaming. We're talking about chronic people-pleasing, the inability to say no, the habit of stuffing your own needs down so you can carry everyone else's. And you know what? It looks like kindness, but it runs on fear. Why saying yes feels safer? Saying no can feel like you're being rude, or selfish, or difficult. But more than that, it feels risky. What if they think you don't care? What if you hurt their feelings? What if they never ask again? That fear of rejection, disapproval, or confrontation keeps a lot of people in silent servitude. You stretch yourself thin, you overcommit, and you quietly build resentment. But you keep saying yes. Why? Because it's easier than the fallout of a no, at least at first. The hidden cost of always being available. When you never say no, you slowly lose the sense that your time belongs to you. You become exhausted, emotionally bankrupt, maybe even a little bitter. You cancel plans you actually wanted. You push back your goals. You stop honoring your instincts just to be the reliable one. And here's the thing. People start expecting it, not out of malice, but because you taught them that you're always available. You know that saying, "You teach people how to treat you"? It's not just a Pinterest quote, it's a reality check. Every yes you say with gritted teeth teaches someone that your needs come last, and slowly but surely you believe it too. Boundaries aren't walls, they're fences with gates. Let's clarify something. Saying no doesn't make you cold, or unkind, or selfish. Saying no makes you clear. You're not shutting people out. You're letting them know where the gate is, what's okay, what's not, and how they can respect your space. You don't owe everyone access to your time, energy, or emotional labor. You get to choose what you say yes to. That's what mentally strong people do. They honor their bandwidth. They know their limits. And they know that protecting your peace is not the same as pushing people away. In fact, boundaries protect relationships. They prevent resentment from building up like slow poison. Start small. Practice saying things like, "I don't have the capacity for that right now." "I'd rather not, but thank you for thinking of me." "That doesn't work for me." Say it calmly. Say it with love. But say it, because every no you say with intention is a yes to your well-being, and that, my friend, is strength. Now, let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves, the quiet narratives that seem harmless, but shape everything. Habit 5, telling yourself stories that keep you small. Ever hear yourself say something like, "I've always been bad with money. I'm not the kind of person who takes risks. I'm just not cut out for that." Seems innocent enough, right? Except that's not a fact. That's a story. And the more you repeat it, the more you believe it. And the more you believe it, the more your actions bend around it. Until it becomes true, not because it is, but because you've made it your truth. Identity as a cage. Here's the sneaky thing about identity. We think it's fixed, but it's not. It's fluid. It's shaped by habits, environment, emotions, memories, and meaning. Yet we cling to these old labels, often written by other people, and mistake them for facts. You're not just the anxious one. You've developed a pattern of anxiety, probably to cope with something real. You're not just bad at relationships. You've likely repeated cycles rooted in early wounds or unhealed beliefs. But here's the catch. As long as you keep saying the story, you'll keep living the story. And that's the kind of mental weakness that's hardest to spot, because it hides in your own voice. The comfort of familiar limitations. Why do we cling to these stories? Because they give us certainty. It's oddly comforting to say, I can't, or that's not me. It means we don't have to risk failure or vulnerability or rejection. We stay small, not because it's who we are, but because it's what feels familiar. But strength, it lives in the stretch. It lives in the uncomfortable, shaky first step into a story you haven't lived yet. Flip the script, literally. Try this. Take one of your limiting statements, like, I'm bad with boundaries. Flip it. I'm learning to set boundaries even when it feels uncomfortable. It's small but powerful. You're not lying to yourself. You're shifting the story. And with every repetition, you build a new path in your brain, a new belief, a new way of being. Mental strength isn't about bulldozing your way through life. It's about questioning the scripts you inherited and writing better ones. Because honestly, you're not broken. You're just living on old programming. But now you know better. So now you get to do better. Let's wrap this up. Final reflection. You're not broken. You're just practicing bad mental habits. Let's take a breath together. What if all this time you haven't been weak? You've just been rehearsing the wrong habits. Overthinking until your confidence buckles. Avoiding discomfort until your courage shrinks. Chasing validation until your voice fades. Saying yes until your spirit's wrung out. Telling yourself stories that shrink your world. These aren't character flaws. They're practiced behaviors. And the good news about behavior, it can change. Mental strength isn't about being fearless, flawless, or hard. It's about being real, resilient, and ready to keep going. You don't need to fix everything at once. Just start with one habit, one moment, one pause before you react. Maybe this time you say no. Maybe this time you take the risk. Maybe this time you don't overthink and just take the step. That's how it begins. And one day, you'll look back and realize you weren't fragile. You were learning. And now, you're strong in the quiet way. The kind of strength that doesn't need applause. The kind that shows